ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। Right. नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जायमुदीरये। नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवतीरुत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवती नैष्टिकी। ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपकदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामीनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभो नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam. By His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. We are reading from Canto 4, Chapter 27, Attack by Chandavega on the city of Puranjan. And we are at text 11. So, happy to be at the divine place of His Grace, Dinabandhu Chaitanya Prabhu, Bangalore. So, conducting this class from there. So, we are seeing that Puranjan, how he is very deeply absorbed in everything, and now there is going to be attack by Chandavega. So let's continue. We are in the middle of the purport, so let's continue from there. Yeah, please continue.
Srila Narad Muni chastised Vyasadeva for compiling so many Vedic supplementary scriptures, which are all intended for guiding the people in general. Narad Muni condemned these scriptures because they do not mention direct devotional service. Under Narada's instructions, direct worship of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, as described in Vishnu, nor his devotee ever sanctions animal killing in the name of religion. Indeed, Krishna incarnated himself as Lord Buddha to put an end to animal killing in the name of religion. Animal sacrifices under the name of religion is conducted by the influence of Tamoguna, the mode of ignorance, as indicated in the 18th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, 18.31 and 32. Yaya dharmam adharmam cha karyam chakaryam eva cha ayathavat prajanati buddhi sa partha rajasi अधर्मम धर्मम इति या मन्यते तमसावृता सर्वार्थान विपरीतांश्च बुद्धि सा पार्थ तामसी. That understanding which cannot distinguish between the religious way of life and irreligious, between action that should be done and action that should not be done, that imperfect understanding, O son of Pruta, is the mood of passion. That understanding which considers irreligion to be religion and religion to be irreligion under the spell of illusion and darkness and strives always in the wrong direction, O Partha, is in the mode of ignorance. Those who are involved in the mode of ignorance manufacture religious systems of killing animals. Actually, dharma is transcendental. As Lord Sri Krishna teaches, we must give up all other systems of religion and simply surrender unto him. Sarva dharman parityajya. Thus the Lord and his devotees and representatives teach the transcendental dharma, which does not allow animal killing at all. At the present moment, it is the greatest misfortune that in India many so-called missionary workers are spreading irreligion in the name of religion. They claim an ordinary human being to be God and recommend meat eating for everyone, including so-called sannyasis. Hare Krishna.
So here, the context is in the discussion with Prachina Parishad. Narad Muni is describing. And this King Puranjan, he was involved in indiscriminate animal killing in the name of religion, just like you. So here it is the first hint Narad Muni is giving, that although the story is allegorical story, my dear Prachina Varishat, just like you, and the whole emphasis here, Srila Prabhupada dedicates the entire very long purport to Jiva Himsa and importance of avoiding Jiva Himsa. So here further Srila Prabhupada explains, Narada Muni chastised Vedvyas for compiling so many Vedic supplementary literatures. Why? Because in the name of religion, people practiced the materialistic way of life and felt they are doing religion. And if somebody questioned, they pointed to the Vedas. And that is the reason Narad Muni says that, my dear Vedavyas, even after such amazing work of dividing Vedas, compiling Mahabharata and everything, you are still feeling that feeling of dissatisfaction. If we see the one word about this, Jugupsitam. Jugupsitam means, it is like disgusting. That is Jugupsitam. When when Parikshit Maharaj is asking the question, he is asking when he hears about Krishna dancing with the gopis, and there this word comes, Jugupsitam. So Narada, he says how disgusting it is, my dear Vedavyas, that in the name of religion, actually you are propagating irreligion. And people will very happily practice irreligion, quoting your authority and quoting your scriptures. And especially animal killing. This becomes very prominent in Kali Yuga. You will be surprised to know there are billions of animals which are killed every year. Know that, sometime we'll just share that video. There are like, it is billions. Billion means 100 crores is 1 billion. So hundreds and hundreds of crores of different animals. You may think that only India, generally we may see the only goat and chicken is slaughtered, but animals are slaughtered like anything. They are bred for slaughtering, and then they are slaughtered in billions and not millions, billions. And all this is happening, Prabhupada writes, in the name of modern way of life and in the name of spirituality. And therefore, Lord Krishna personally appears as Lord Buddha and takes this emergency incarnation to save people from passion and ignorance. What is passion? Passion means there is no decision. Person doesn't understand what is dharma and what is adharma. So person is completely confused what is dharma and what is adharma. But the ignorance is viparyaya. They are confident what is adharma, they will take it as dharma. Right? That is the difference. So the mode of tamoguna, Prabhupada writes, they are unable to distinguish. So rajoguna means they are unable to distinguish punya and papa, where the mode of tamoguna is people will be certain that what is punya is papa and what is papa is punya, like that. That is the difference Prabhupada writes here. And therefore the entire civilization is going in the wrong direction, and they will manufacture so many, the religious methods where the animal killing is the center piece of the religion. And Prabhupada is describing here, in the name of religion, there is a Indian missionaries. Prabhupada is taking more a pot shot on, I don't want to name the mission, but you understand the mission when Prabhupada writes here, claiming on ordinary human being to be God. What they call is Daridri Narayan or Janata Janardan, Daridri Narayan. These are their names. And the sannyasis are killing the goats and eating the flesh and serving the flesh. Just like, we say when you come to ISKCON temple, devotees are serving khichdi. In this one particular mission, they serve the meat, and the sannyasis are serving the meat and saying that Daridra Narayan, we are doing Daridra Narayan Seva. And Prabhupada says, this is the form of gross ignorance, where in the name of religion, they are misleading people and making them actually irreligious. Right. Text 12. Yukteshvesham pramattasya kutumbasakta chetasa asatadasa vaikalo yo priya yoshitam. Translation.
Translation. Thus King Puranjana, being attached to fruitive activities, karma kanda, as well as kith and kin, and being obsessed with polluted consciousness, eventually arrived at that point not very much liked by those who are overly attached to material things. Purport. In this verse, the words Priya Yoshitam and Apriya are very significant. The word Yoshit means women and Priya means dear or pleasing. Death is not very much welcome for those who are too much attached to material enjoyment, which culminates in sensual life. There is an instructive story in this connection. Once, when a saintly person was passing on his way, he met a prince, the son of a king, and he blessed him, saying, "My dear prince, may you live forever." The sage next met a saintly person and said to him, "You may either live or die." Eventually, the sage met a brahmachari devotee and he blessed him, saying, "My dear devotee, you may die immediately." Finally, the sage met a hunter and he blessed him, saying, "Neither live nor die." The point is that those who are very sensual and are engaged in sense gratification do not wish to die. Generally, a prince has enough money to enjoy his senses. Therefore, the great sage said that he should live forever. For as long as he lived, he could enjoy life. But after his death, he would go to hell. Since the brahmachari devotee was leading a life of severe austerities and penances, in order to be promoted back to Godhead, the sage said that he should die immediately so that he need not continue to labor hard and could instead go back home, back to Godhead. A saintly person may either live or die, for during his life he is engaged in serving the Lord, and after his death he also serves the Lord. Thus, this life and the next are the same for saintly devotee, for in both he serves the Lord. Since the hunter lives a very ghastly life due to killing animals, and since he will go to hell when he dies, he is advised to neither live nor die. King Puranjana finally arrived at the point of old age. In old age, the senses lose their strength, and although an old man desires to enjoy his senses, and especially sensual life, he is very miserable because his instruments of enjoyment no longer function. Such sensualists are never prepared for death. They simply want to live on and extend their life by so-called scientific advancement. Some foolish Russian scientists also claim that they are going to make man immortal through scientific advancement. Under the leadership of such crazy fellows, civilization is going on. Cruel death, however, comes and takes all of them away despite their desire to live forever. This type of mentality was exhibited by Hiranyakashipu, but when the time was ripe, the Lord personally killed him within a second. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, now it is King Puranjan, thus being attached to fruitive activities, right? And Karma Kanda, as well as Kutumba Asakta Chetasaha, mind very deeply attached to Kutumba. He is, with polluted consciousness, eventually arrived at a point not very much liked by those who are overly attached to material things. This is what a beauty of Bhagavatam. Okay. So Puranjana becoming old and coming close to death, how beautiful it is being mentioned by Narad Muni. Eventually arrive. That time eventually comes. Right? Apna bhi 50 ho gaya, correct? Have you ever remember the first time somebody calling you Kaka or Ajji or something like that, and someone called me first time Kaka, जरा side लावा. I said, hey, Kaka, किसको Kaka बोलता है? And then my wife said, अरे, you are now Kaka only. You are in your 40s. So we may be living in our own, pramattasya, but the time will take the toll on the body, and time will convey that we are, the eventually arriving. Correct. So just remember, first time somebody calling us these. Hopefully not. Nobody has called me at Ajoba, but that point also will come, right? That point also will come. And kids, we may think I look very young and I'm like in my 20s and age is only a number and everything else and all that pep talk. But the point is, it's arriving. Right. In the purport, Srila Prabhupada explains Priya Yoshitam and Apriya. Right. That means one who is very dear. So death is not very welcomed by those who are not too much attached to who are too much attached to material enjoyment. There is, the horrible thought. People say, why you talk of death, death, death? You are so pessimistic. Why you are talking about death? Be optimistic. Prabhupada said, we are not pessimistic or optimistic. We are realistic. Bhagavad Gita talks about death. Janma mrityu jara vyadhi. That's why we also talk about death. Right. And then Srila Prabhupada quotes this beautiful story of a saintly person coming across these four people. And four of them, he gave different benedictions. He met a prince who was just enjoying his life, and he told him that, my dear prince, may you live for a long life, because now you are enjoying. doing sense gratification, doing sinful activities, your future is dangerous. Better you live longer because you are awaiting a very dark future. Then he met a brahmachari or a mendicant who was doing extreme austerities, and then he met a butcher, and so different benedictions. And then disciple was confused, and this the guru was explaining, this is the reason why I was giving different benedictions. So Prabhupada says a saintly person may either live or die during his life, because he's always engaged in the service of the Lord, and after his life, at the time of after the death, he's also aspiring for the service of the Supreme Lord. So there is no duality. We are not doing something to achieve something in spiritual life. Spiritual life is absolute, right? So so it's a good point to discuss here. There are, sometimes we hear some eventual things. I mean, the shocking thing which has shocked entire Pune, Maharashtra is the death of the boy, that Ketan Agarwal. But the point is, whenever we come across a death, it is very important that one should not have any regrets in one's life. Regret or desire ensures next birth. And therefore, you know, and how can we have no regret and no desire in the life? That that eventual point one should have ante narayana smriti. It's very very important that forget about purification, forget about everything else. We have to simply remember the holy names: Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Rama Hare Hare. So Puranjan here finally arrived at the point of old age, and he had enjoyed many desire, had the very elaborate sensual life, and now he is very miserable because his instruments of enjoyment were no longer functioning. This is Prabhupada. Prabhupada. I mean, Prabhupada says the desire is there, but the instrument is not working, right? And therefore, people will take so many, the stimulants like Viagra and this and that. And Prabhupada was always, Prabhupada used to show old people and used to tell that, Prabhupada will make friends because he had seen this in the Western world. And now India is not very far from the Western world. Prabhupada says some foolish Russian scientist, he claimed that he is coming up with a drug which will make one immortal. And it became such a huge phenomena that time. Even it is said that Walt Disney, he paid millions of dollars in maybe 50s, 60s and 70s, so that his body to be preserved. And he said that please preserve my body after death, and very soon the science will come to the point where you will revive the dead man to back to the life, and please revive me. And he paid millions to researchers, and the researchers were very happy receiving all these millions of dollars. But the relatives of Walt Disney, they came running, and they said that this person has to die, otherwise we will not inherit the property, right? And they paid double the millions to the researcher so that the body decomposes. And the conclusion is there is money in the research. Okay. So the point is that this is not the first time. Even Hiranyakashipu wanted to be immortal. Ravana wanted to be immortal. This simply shows the bodily attachment. And this point of death is never liked by those who are excessively absorbed in sense gratification. Bhayam dvitiya abhiniveta yasyat. To the degree we have other life means to the degree we have the materialistic life of sense gratification, to that degree we will be very, very afraid of death. Bhaya will always be there. And Prabhupada says here, Hiranyakashipu, he was such a great personality, but the Lord killed him in a moment, in a second. Similarly, mrityu sarva haraschaham. The death comes for the materialist, like the Lord coming to Hiranyakashipu. However, for a devotee, the death is, it is like Prabhupada's example is, it is like the cat taking the kittens to the safe place. Text 13. Chandavega iti ख्यातो गंधर्वाधिपतिर्नृपः गंधर्वान्तस्य परिणः षष्ठोत्तर शतत्रयम्. Translation.
O king, in Gandharvaloka there is a king named Chandvega. Under him there are 360 very powerful Gandharva soldiers. purport. Time is figuratively described here as Chandveg. Since time and died, but no for man, for no man. Time is herein called Chandveg, which means very swiftly passing away. As time passes, it is calculated in terms of years. 1 year contains 360 days, and the soldiers of Chandavega herein mentioned represent these days. Time passes swiftly. Chandavega's powerful soldiers of Gandharvaloka very swiftly carry away all the days of our life. As the sun rises and sets, it snatches away the balance of our lifespan. Thus, as each day passes, each of us loses some of life's duration. It is therefore said that the duration of one's life cannot be saved, but if one is engaged in devotional service, his time cannot be taken away by the sun. As stated in Srimad Bhagavatam 2.3.17, Ayur Harati Vai Pumsam Udyan Astam Cha Yan Asau. The conclusion is that if one wants to make himself immortal, he should give up sense gratification. By engaging oneself in devotional service, one can gradually enter into the eternal kingdom of God. Mirages and other illusory things are sometimes called Gandharvas. Our losing our lifespan is taken as advancement of age. This imperceptible passing away of the days of life is figuratively referred to in this verse as Gandharvas. As explained in later verses, such Gandharvas are both male and female. This indicates that both men and women lose their lifespan imperceptibly by the force of time, which is herein described as Chandveg.
Yeah. Chandavego iti khyato. This very famous personality who is known as Chandavega is celebrated. Iti khyato Gandharva Adhipati. He is the Adhipati of the Gandharva, and he attacked with his 360 extremely powerful soldiers on the city of King Puranjan. Right. In the purport, Srila Prabhupada explains, time is figuratively expressed here as Chandavega. Chandavega or Prachandavega, right? That the time and tide, they wait for none, and time is here called as Chandavega. Very swiftly the time will pass, right? Very swiftly the time will pass. By the time we realize we are in 40s, we will be in 60s. By the time we realize we are in 60s, we will be in 80s. By the time we will be realize we are in 80s, we will be in the next body. Okay. This is Chandavega. Extremely swift, right? And these are the powerful soldiers. They were attacking the body of Chandavega. What is the meaning of attacking the body of Chandavega? That means, the jara that we have. Jara also is going to come later. But the wrinkles on our skin, right? The loosening of the skin, the loosening of the muscle. It is said that, after 40s, every decade you will lose almost like 7% of your muscle mass. And therefore, a lot of time my brain is occupied by muscle mass these days. We have to make sure that we have to have a good muscle mass, right? So this is the attack of Chandavega. This is how powerfully the Chandavega is attacking. And Prabhupada says the advancement of the age means actually losing of one's life. And therefore, we ask people naturally, how old are you? Right? 5 years, 15 years, 25 years, 30 years. Because those many years are lost. In fact, with every rising and setting of the sun, Ayur Harati Vai Pumsan, Udyan Astam Chayannasau. That by every rising and setting of the sun, what is happening is we are losing one day which is allotted to us. Right. Every happy birthday is actually we are close to the death. But why devotee celebrates? Devotee celebrates because with every happy birthday, one is close to Krishna. I know, because he is going to meet Krishna at the end of his life. And that's how devotee celebrates happy birthday. So Prabhupada writes here, Chandavega is both male and female. This indicates both men and women lose their lifespan by the force of time, which is here called as Chandavega. So one may try to look young, but actually one is getting old. And Chandavega, there is no ability in the city, the city of King Puranjan, there is no ability to counteract Chandavega. We may have some arrangement so that the symptoms may be hidden, right? Somebody may apply some facelift or something like that to look very young, or people nowadays, do cosmetic surgeries, plastic surgeries. But that doesn't mean that Chandavega is not attacking. Text 14. गन्धर्वस्ततिरस्य मैथुनस्य सितासितः परिश्रुता विप्लुवन्ति सर्वकाम विनिर्मिताम्. Translation.
Along with Chandavega were as many female Gandharvis as there were soldiers, and all of them repetitively plundered all the paraphernalia for sense enjoyment. Purport: the days have been compared to the soldiers of Chandavega. Night is generally a time for sensual enjoyment. Days are considered to be white, and nights are considered to be black. Or, from another point of view, there are two kinds of nights: black nights and white nights. All these days and nights combine to pass away our span of life and everything we manufacture for sense gratification. Material activity means manufacturing things for sense gratification. Scientists are conducting research to find out how we can satisfy our senses more and more elaborately. In this Kali Yuga, the demoniac mentality is employed in manufacturing various machines to facilitate the process of sense gratification. There are so many machines for ordinary household activities. There are machines for washing dishes, cleansing the floor, shaving, clipping hair. Today, everything is done by machine. All these facilities for sense gratification are described in this verse as Sarvakama Vinirmitam. The time factor, however, is so strong that not only is our span of life being expanded, but all the machines and facilities for sense gratification are deteriorating. Therefore, in this verse, the word vilumpanti, plundering, is used. Everything is being plundered from very beginning of our lives. This plundering of our possessions and lifespan begins with the day of our birth. One day will come when death will finish everything, and the living entity will have to enter another body to begin another chapter of life and again begin the cycle of material sense gratification. Prahlad Maharaj describes this process as Puna Punas Charvita Charvananam. Bhagavad Gita 7.5.30. Materialistic life means chewing the chewed again and again. The central point of material life is sense gratification. In different types of bodies, the living entity enjoys various senses, and through creating various types of facilities, he chews the chewed. Whether we squeeze sugar out of the sugarcane with our teeth or a machine, the result is same, sugarcane juice. We may discover many ways to squeeze the juice out of the sugarcane, but the result is same. Hare Krishna.
Yeah. So here, many female Gandharvis were there as the soldiers, and all of them repeatedly plundered all the paraphernalia for sense gratification. In the purport, Srila Prabhupada describes there were as many Gandharvis as Gandharvas, and the days are called as the Gandharvas, the 360 days of a year, and the 360 nights they are described as Gandharvis. And Prabhupada says the days are considered to be white because it's sunlight, and the nights are considered to be dark. And thus, there are two kinds of nights, black nights and white nights. So now what is this white nights? So black nights and white nights. And Prabhupada says, all these days and nights to pass away, combine to pass away our span and everything that we manufacture for sense gratification. So this Chandavega is the time personified and is attacking with the 360 soldiers, 360 days and nights. And with every day and night that we are passing by, we are actually passing away and we are coming closer to the death. And foolish Puranjan, who was pramattasya, very deeply absorbed in sense gratification, did not realize this. Prabhupada says, For sense gratification, people want to manufacture so many machines. And nowadays there is machine for everything. But not only the person is plundered, even machines also deteriorate, and thus, the everything, the Puranjan and the facilities that he created for sense gratification, everything was deteriorating. Right? Like everything deteriorates materially. Somebody buys, a car. The first year deterioration is 15%. Second year is 10%. So that's deteriorating. Whatever we buy, it deteriorates the assets. And this is how the Chandavega was attacking. Time factor is so strong that only our span of life being expanded, all the machines and facilities, not only our lifespan, but even the machines and the facilities, Vipluvanti, they were also being plundered. Further, Srila Prabhupada explains that this activity, although it may appear very new to Jivatma, the Jivatma is always engaged. Punah Punah Charvita Charvanana. In different varieties, people are doing the same activities. This is chewing the chewed. And Prabhupada says it's just the one thing. Either you directly suck the juice or put it in the machine. So you directly enjoy or enjoy through machines. It is Punah Punah Charvita Charvanana. So we will conclude here and continue tomorrow. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Yeah.
Gaura
Thank
Bhakta
you.
ki jai. Thank you, Prabhupada. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you,
Hare Krishna.
Prabhupada. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhupada.
Thank you, Prabhupada. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhupada, Siddharth Pranam.
Dandavat, Prabhuji.
Prabhuji, Hare Krishna. Dharma Pranam.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.